Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Eldercare's training series, Eldercare Academy. I'm Adrienne.
I'm Lisa.
And we are super excited about today's topic. We started in this industry with Medicare supplements
Long time ago.
long time ago.
Over 40 years.
Over 40 years ago. That's how Eldercare got started. And Medicare supplements are still like our pride and joy.
Oh, yeah.
They are definitely still in the market, and that's why we love having these conversations, because I feel like some agents forget
They do.
that Medicare supplements are still like a product consumers want.
Right.
And so we are super excited to welcome our special guest, Lance. Good morning, Lance.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming back. And so Lance is with WoodmenLife, and that is a carrier that has a Medicare supplement product that our agents are using. And he's going to talk to us about kind of some perks.
Great product information. Yeah.
And perks that go along with Woodmen. I feel like that's a compliant word to say with Medicare supplements. And just as always, we want this to be a conversation. So please find the Q&A on the Zoom. Let us know where you're watching from. Are you writing WoodmenLife? Have you not started writing WoodmenLife? I mean, these products, still qualify for our lead programs and all the things like that. So if you're not contracted,
give us a call.
Please call us. Lisa will hook you up with the contract. She has all the details on like commission levels and what that
Everything
looks like.
You need to know.
Yes. So please reach out to us. And then Lance, I'm going to let you take the wheel.
Oh, that sounds great. And thank you so much, Adrienne and Lisa. I'm so happy to have a chance to be on this call. And first and foremost, thank you sincerely for everything, the relationship, the business. Eldercare has been our best distributor, our top distributor since we started selling this Medicare supplement product. So, both of you have and the rest of your team have been instrumental in our success. So thank you so much. And some of you on the webinar today, you've already done business with us. Thank you. Others are probably like, well, who the heck is WoodmenLife? And then that's okay too. And that's why we wanted to spend a little time today, especially with MedSup, because MedSup, at the end of the day, it's a very commoditized product, right? I mean, there's differentiators, here and there, and obviously service and rate and commissions and all those things go into and factoring into what you choose to offer your clients. But if I may, I'd love to be able to tell you a little bit about WoodmenLife and why it, and I'm of course I'm biased, but I do think it maybe has a place on your shelf. So I'm going to share my screen and
yeah, we can see it.
You can see. Okay, good. Technology is wonderful when it works, right? So, one thing I want to do very briefly, and this is something that I found very interesting, and I like to share it with folks about what consumers want. And look, we're all consumers, right? I mean, maybe we're not all, buying Medicare supplements ourselves yet, but we do go to the store. I feel like everybody at Target knows me by name because I'm in there all the time, or the local grocery store, but we're all consumers. And one thing we did as an organization is we wanted to do some research about, what do consumers really want? And you look, there's some things that are always going to be at the top of that list. When you're asking, people, what's important to you when you're buying a product, a widget, right? It could be a MedSup, could be a pack of paper towels, etc. First one, price and value. And I say price and value because my mom and dad is a great example. My dad is definitely that person that loves the thrill of saving a few pennies, right? I mean, he's the person that will drive across town to save 3 cents a gallon. Now he spent $8 driving across town to get the 3 cents a gallon, but it's the thrill of the of saving a little bit of money. And my mother is the opposite. I think she factors in more of the value. Like, look, I'm willing to pay more because I see the value in paying more. And so look, we have different consumers, but price and value always at the top of the list. And it has been for since the beginning of time. The second bullet, and this is not surprising either, right? The ease of doing business. And especially in 2026, you think about, Amazon has ruined all of us, right? I mean, there's probably I know I'm
Spoiled.
not,
We're
the
spoiled.
most, yeah, we're spoiled, right? And I guarantee it, there's probably somebody on this webinar right now that's scrolling looking for a new pair of shoes or something right now, right? I don't take offense to that, but the ease of doing business, pushing a button, getting something, next day, and in some cases same day, right? If you live close enough to one of their distribution centers. So it has become important, not only for producers like everybody on this call, but also consumers. They want that ease of doing business. The third bullet point, this is a little different. This one has come kind of moved up in the ranks. I mean, an experience has always been in the top 15 of what consumers want. But what we're seeing, especially after COVID, is the experience factor has really raised and gone up to being one of the top three things that consumers want. They want a good price, not always the cheapest, but they want a good price. They want to see their value. They want it to be easy so they can get on with their very busy lives. But the third one is they want an experience. They want to feel good about what they're purchasing. And I think that really, when I saw those results, I thought, wow, this really plays right into WoodmenLife. I mean, there's a lot of great insurance companies out there that are offering a lot of great products that you work with today. And I think WoodmenLife has an opportunity to be on that shelf in your virtual rate case or on your virtual shelf, because we do have a story to tell. We have an experience to also offer, in addition to just offering a great product at a great rate. We're all storytellers, right? I mean, whether it's Lisa, Adrienne at Eldercare, or myself and you sitting at the kitchen table, we're all storytellers at the end of the day. And what best, I mean, to have a story, talk about an organization that's doing good in the community. And I think that's exactly where we like to lean on with WoodmenLife. WoodmenLife is a fraternal benefit company. And essentially what that means is we're a not for profit. We're not a nonprofit. I mean, they do pay my big salary, but we're not the Red Cross, but we are not for profit, meaning that we really are here to serve our members. Somebody that buys one of our products, there's no fees, there's no annual dues or anything like that. It's simply, look, you have a great med sub, you want to buy it, you now become a member, and we want to make sure we're doing good in the communities where you live, all of you, the professionals that are selling these products, but also where your clients live. And these are just some of the highlights of things that we do. It's a really unique insurance company. I've worked for a big stock company, and it was great, but it was more about the shareholders, right? It was about making money. It was about, going to Wall Street and, oh, wow, we had all this revenue, or we saved all this money. And I'm not saying that WoodmenLife doesn't want to grow. We want to grow. We want to make money. But what we want to do with that money is we want to give it and reinvest it back into the communities where you and your clients live. I like to say we're a purpose-driven life insurance company. I mean, it really is in the forefront, not kind of in the behind the scenes, like, oh, maybe we send a big check to a certain charity. No, we have a department, an officer of the company that runs a fraternal division where they're not thinking about dollars and cents. They're not thinking about how to make more money or grow business or sales like I am, right? They are thinking about, how do we take this money and how do we do good in the community? And so these are just some of the numbers, the volunteerism, we have all these projects where we're fighting hunger, patriotism is a big deal for us. We give we send out more US flags to individuals than any other entity besides the US government. So it's a big deal. We're out there fixing up playgrounds. We're building new ball fields. We're painting the VFWs. It's going back to consumers want an experience, right? This is a wonderful experience. Even if you don't want to get involved, because I always like to joke, this is not a cult. You buy a med stuff from us. You're not obligated to show up at the park and pick up trash. That absolutely not. There are some people that want to get involved, and there's some people that do not, and that is totally fine. Even the people that are busy or do not want to get involved, they can be very excited that every dollar of premium that they send to us for their med sub, a portion of that is going back into the communities where they live. We have over 800 chapters across the country. In fact, if you go to our website and you put in your own zip code, you're going to see chapters pop up all around you. And again, it's all about doing good in the community. We have people that are really focused on that. So it's a feel good experience. In addition to that, that's what we're doing. What's good for the community. There's also the ability with a fraternal benefit is we can give back exclusive member benefits. With MedSup, and I've been doing this a long time, people would say, hey, do you have something else to talk about besides the Plan F premium rate or the Plan G rate, right? Do you have some type of gym membership? Do you have this? Like, what's something else I can talk about besides just what the rate is, right? And at a former company I was like, I don't really have anything. I can send you some koozies. I don't have anything. And so I love that I'm at an organization now where, again, we're giving back. We're that purpose-driven life company, but also what's in it for your consumer? What's in it for the person that's buying the med sub from WoodmenLife? We call them member benefits. And there's a number of them, and I don't have enough time to give you a rundown of all of the free member benefits you get just, again, from you're simply just buying something from us. There's no dues, there's no extra fees, there's no questions about your past lives or your religion, anything like that. It's just truly you're buying something from us. You're part of the family now. One of them, and because I'm a member myself, I have access to this Life's Perks member discount program. And actually, everybody on this call, once they write their first piece of business with WoodmenLife, you would get access to this perks program as well. It's a wonderful opportunity to get access to a number of retailers. There's local ones. I live in Iowa. I'm an Iowa boy. I've got local restaurants and businesses where I can get discounts on, but also big major, national brands. I save money on my Costco membership. I'm with Verizon. I get a little, again, I'm not getting 90% off, but I get a little percent discount just because I'm a WoodmenLife member. So it's a wonderful discount program. You get access to it free of charge once you become a member of WoodmenLife. We also have another great member benefit that I love to talk about. We call Law Assure. And again, this is free to your members once they buy a product from us. And Law Assure, think of it as almost like a legal Zoom. If you've heard commercials, on the radio or TV about legal Zoom, but you think about people that are buying that stuff. Usually they're in that 65 plus range, right? I mean, that's the time when you usually are, meaning or should have some wills, some trusts. Some of those documents we procrastinate and not do. This gives everybody an access free of charge. We foot the bill, but you have the ability to go in and build, from templates, wills and trusts, and get those ratified. It also has this really cool thing, obituary maker, right? So you can actually put all your, information about what you'd like. I always like to joke, I want to do it for myself, because if I let my younger brother do my obituary, he's going to make me look bad. So, having all that information, even putting your favorite recipes, having that kind of virtual lockbox that your loved ones can open, once that time of your passing occurs. So again, it's just a wonderful little bit of sizzle in addition to talking about the Plan G premium rate. You're going to get these extra benefits. Some of you, I mentioned earlier, said, I said, you may not even know who WoodmenLife is, and that's okay, because, I've been with WoodmenLife just about 4 years now. When the person called me for a job opportunity, I said the same thing. Well, who is WoodmenLife? I've been doing this almost 30 years, and they really have been this best kept secret. And the reason being is that they've only used a career distribution channel for their entire 135-year history. So most of us that are in the independent space, like the Eldercare, myself, and all of you on this call, it wasn't really something we came in contact with. So once I did my research and found out who really WoodmenLife is, I was like, wow, this is a sleeping giant. And then so I'm excited to say we've built this MedSup. We're now working with independent agent distribution. We're going to be building more products, including we're working on a final expense right now, and then annuity after that, and some more life products. So our product portfolio over the next 5 years is going to grow and grow with some great products we'll be able to offer you. It's a company that's been around a long time. I mentioned 135 years old. 600 home office employees based out of Omaha, Nebraska. I think the second bullet point is really the big one. We've been, assessed by AM Best A+ for 50 straight years. I mean, this is a company that's financially strong. I always like to joke we're not this startup company or a small company working out of somebody's basement or garage. I mean, this is a brick and mortar organization that has been extremely successful for a long time with lots of assets, and you can see, $1.5 billion of surplus in addition to the assets we have. So we're going to be here tomorrow and the next day and the next day to be able to pay on the promises that we're doing for MedSup and for life insurance and for annuities going forward. So it is a real company. It's something that's been around a long time. So you don't have to worry about, is this new? Or did they just get started? It's a great organization. And again, I can't say enough about being a fraternal benefit. Having that not-for-profit mentality where it truly is that three-legged stool. It's all about your customers, it's about you, and it's about me, the home office. That's it. We're not worried about shareholders, as a stock company. It's all about how do we do better for you and how do we do better for your clients. That's it.
Yeah. What do you always say, Lance? It's Main Street, not Wall Street.
You know what? I'm so glad.
I love that line.
It really is. And look, I am not here. I mean, there's a lot of great companies doing a lot of great things in our business. I just love this not-for-profit structure because it truly is at Main Street. We are really focused on reinvesting back into the communities where we all live. And it's just, again, that experience, that feel-good, warm and fuzzy story, that resonates with individuals. I mean, when we talk to consumers, we do that research that I mentioned earlier. That's what's resonating. Everybody's going to have about the same price. Everybody's going to have about the same, product, but it's that feel good, right? I mean, I can write a MedSup with Carrier X and it's great and they're A+ rated, but Woodman is the same thing. But I know that they're actually going to be reinvesting and spending money and volunteering to make my community a better place to live. That's just a wonderful thing. And nobody dislikes that story, right? It's like puppies. Nobody dislikes puppies, right? So it's a great story. Some people resonate more to it than others, but it's not a bad story. Great company, member benefits, reinvesting in the communities. I want to quickly talk about the product, right? Because if the product's not good, then, all this is a moot point, right? MedSup is MedSup, but I did want to give you a few highlights of what this product has, in addition to being a Plan G, right, or a Plan F or a Plan N. They're all the same. We do offer a 10% discount in most states. There's a few states that are stragglers where they don't like the 10% discount. Anywhere where we could get the 10% roommate discount approved, it's approved. Okay. There's a few states where in the parentheses on the screen, there is some cohabitation. For example, in Florida, I believe you have to sell 2 policies in the home. Maybe Pennsylvania, don't hold me to that, but there's a few states where you do still have to sell 2 in the home. That's a state rule, not a company rule. That second bullet point, we've had a great partnership with CSG. We have our app on that CSG platform, and I love it where as most of you do every day, you run a quote. Oh, okay, there's Woodman. You can hit that apply now button. You don't have to go to our agent portal. You can just hit that button. It takes you right to our e-app. And away you go, and it goes right into our admin platform to get taken care of. But actually, I'm going to skip over the third bullet point for a second. Speaking of platforms, we administer this business through Mutual of Omaha. Now, one thing I always like to clarify to the group is Mutual of Omaha doesn't own us. We don't own them. It really is an agreement where I said, WoodmenLife have been on 135 years selling life and annuity products. We don't have the platforms or the subject matter experts, frankly, to administer the business. So who better than, we're both in Omaha. They're right down the street. They've been doing this, for 60+ years. We love our relationship with Mutual. I'm paying them to be my back office, and they're doing a great job. The positive for all of you, a couple of things. One, if you're familiar, if you've sold Mutual Omaha MedSup in the past or still do, it's the same agent portal. So you'll actually, when you get signed up to sell Woodman as well, you'll be able to see all of your stuff, your Woodman and your Mutual. Again, it's there's no relation. We don't own them. They don't own us. It's just a comfort of knowing you have it all in one place. The second thing I always like to point out is Mutual has a wonderful instant decisioning underwriting tool. 77% of all apps that come in the door for WoodmenLife go through that tool, and they get issued same day. So you don't have to worry about when we get busy, and we're always busy, that things get backed up and you're waiting 2, 3, 4 weeks to get that policy issued and get those ID cards out to your clients. This is happening very, very quickly. So their platform is best in class, and we love the relationship that we have with them. Going back to that third bullet point, we don't want to be the cheapest in town only to be gone, 12 months later, and we've all seen carriers that have tried to do that, right? Maybe some no-name carriers that come in, oh, we got a really hot rate, and they sell some of it or a lot of it, and then it's mispriced. They have to raise rates a lot, and then they're gone, right? We don't want to do that. We want to be here for a long time, having a product that's correctly priced. So, I'll just candidly say you're not going to see us as the cheapest rate in town. Where we're going to be in the pack, and that's where we want to be, because we want to be there the next year, and the next year. We want you to feel good about promoting us, not just for 1 year or one cycle, but several cycles. Last but not least, I mentioned this earlier, but those member benefits, it's something else to talk about besides just what that rate is for that plan N or that plan G, et cetera. That feel-good story, the reinvesting into the communities, but also what's in it for me. What do I get besides a great MedSup rate? Well, you get these extra benefits. And, I mentioned just a couple. There's more, but just in the spirit of time, I just wanted to give you a few tidbits of these types of member benefits. We also, and I failed to mention this just briefly, we also do events in these communities. So, once you become a member, you'll get actually invited to events in your areas of, sometimes they go to amusement parks or water parks where you can bring your kids or your grandkids, and everyone's welcome. You don't have to be a member, the more the merrier. So we have senior events, we have family days. Again, it just gives a chance for people like-minded to come together. And I promise it's not a ruse to get you to pick up trash or anything. Those are other projects. You can volunteer for, projects, but these are like social events that have fun. So it's just another plus. I've been doing this for 30 plus years. I've worked with some great companies. I am so excited to be here because it really is a difference. When you've worked at, different companies of different types of ownership, stock companies or mutual companies, they all have the pros and cons, but being at a company where it's all about the customer, it's all about you on this call, and that's it. It really is that Main Street type of feeling. It's not focused on Wall Street. I'm going to take a breath. Any questions?
Yeah, no, you're fine. Take a breath. There are not questions coming through yet, but I know sometimes there can be a delay. So if any of you agents have any questions or just want to share some experiences, please put it in the Q&A so we can share that with the class. Is what I like to say. You never know kind of what, because we do have newer agents on here, and sometimes they don't know what kind of questions they should be asking. So if you feel there's something we should share, please participate. This is why we do this live.
Yeah. And I've said it once, twice. I'll say it one more time. There's a lot of great carriers, right? That you have access to through Eldercare Insurance Services. And, we just want a chance to earn some of your business. And look, I know how it is. I mean, we're all creatures of habit. We get comfortable, going to a certain gas station or ordering the same thing at a restaurant. I totally get it. I do the same thing. So I know how it is when you find a carrier, you're selling med stuff. It's like, you know what? I know how to use their app. It's easy. I get it. I want to give you a little bit of carrot to give us a test drive, because it is something, you're going out of your way. You got to learn maybe a new app or a new process. I want to have a bonus program where it rewards you for giving us a chance. And so we actually, we're doing the Q1, and it's the same thing. And we'll be doing it in Q2 here, which is crazy that it's Q2 in 10 days?
Wow.
Oh my goodness. But I want to reward you for taking the test drive. So if when you write 5 applications, for every one of those applications that's underwritten, I will pay you an extra $150 for that application. That's above and beyond, of course, what you're getting for your your standard commission. So, it is a really nice thing where, again, giving you a chance to earn a little bit more money for taking that leap of faith and saying, you know what, let's just see if Lance is on the level here. Sounds pretty good, but let's see if it is. So all I'm asking is give us a chance, write us 5 apps. If 2 of them are underwritten, I'll pay you an extra $300. If all of them are underwritten, I'll pay you more, right? So it's just a wonderful opportunity for a test drive. So we'll be doing that in Q2. And if you haven't given us a chance, I'd really, that'd be my ask, is just give us a chance to get a few apps and see for yourself just the quick turnaround and the service, and also just having the ability to get those member benefits and extras in a packet to your customers and see what they think. All right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is so great. Thank you so much for going into all of that and explaining kind of the bigger picture of WoodmenLife. I think it helps brokers, understand more about the company as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
We did have Sheila ask, are these supplements available in Nevada? So I don't think that you shared a map, a state availability, but we could.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Apologize.
I was going to say we can share that with everyone afterwards too. If you want to comment what state you're in, we can give you all the details on your state. But I'm sure off the top of your head, Lance.
Yeah, we are not in Nevada today. We are in 26 states today. We are, I would say, from the Carolinas all the way through Texas, some states in the Midwest. We could get that map out, but the states we're not in, for example, Nevada, we are looking at those currently. So, we're looking to expand into more states going into this year. So Nevada is on that short list to look at the pricing. We'll look at the pricing. If we're in the pack, that's something we'll launch, right? If our pricing is, $10, $13 more expensive than the pack, then we might say, we need to sharpen our pencil and work on that until we can get in line with the pack. Because look, it's a commodity. We want to make sure that you have to be giving your client the best price and value available. So we want to make sure we check that box just like we check the other boxes.
Yeah. And Lucy shared that she has written Woodmen in Mississippi. She loves telling her clients that part of the premium goes back to their community and the platform is user friendly. Thank you for sharing that, Lucy.
Yeah, thank you, Lucy, and thank you. Mississippi is one of our top states, so it's you're doing a wonderful job. We appreciate you and everything you do for WoodmenLife. Thank you.
Yes, and Gary had asked if you're in Oregon and Washington.
So Washington, we have not been there as of yet. That's to be determined. We are, how do I say this? We were in Oregon, and we actually had a lot of success. We're now actually going through a rate increase process. We're going back and forth with Oregon. We want, it's like a used car. We want X and they say Y. So we're still trying to get to that rate adjustment that we need. So right now, temporarily, we are not in Oregon until we get that rate solidified from the state. I would say it's probably going to be, just conservatively, probably another 90 days before we have that availability in Oregon.
Okay, good.
But we will be back. We will get there. Yes.
Yes, it's kind of what happened in Texas, right? You're back in Texas now.
That's right. Yeah. And Oregon last year was our top state, so we were very happy. I mean, we actually, it went from some of our chapters up there went from being some of the smallest to being one of the largest in our company.
Oh,
so
wow.
Lots of opportunity to spend money and reinvest back in the community because we had so much success last year in Oregon.
That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't see any further questions coming through. If you do have them, you can put them in the chat. And, I noticed that the per app bonus was for underwritten apps.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if you mind sharing kind of what that looks like for an agent. I feel like some agents get a little scared to try to go through underwriting. And if you want to just share like what that process kind of looks like for an agent to let them know it's okay to try.
Yeah, no, that's a great call out. With underwriting, it's funny. I'll kind of say this first is, it's I've been in organizations where I've had a lot of inquiries saying, Lance, man, your underwriting is tight as a drum. It's like I can't get anybody through. Now I'm going to knock on my fake wood desk here. I can say, as God is my witness, I've not had one of those calls since I've been here, since we launched this product in 2023. So now, again, I'll go back to Mutual. Since we're using them as our back office, we're using their instant decisioning machine, right? Their rules-based algorithm. So it's their underwriting. So if you're comfortable, now look, if you hate Mutual's underwriting, well then you're going to hate our underwriting, right? But if you're comfortable and you're like, you know what, I usually get everything through with Mutual, it's the exact same rules. It's the exact same underwriters. In fact, if you have relationships with underwriters there, guess what? They're looking at our stuff as well. The nice thing about filling out an underwritten app for us is that we're not doing any invasive questions or things. We're doing all electronic data, right? So you're filling out a few questions on the app, and then we're going out and looking at electronic data and making, seriously, instant decision. Again, 77% of the cases are getting same day instant approved, where you're getting the ID cards out the door the next day. So I'm really, it's the standard underwriting. We have an underwriting guide where we talk through, and it's just like everybody else. There's certain illnesses that are declines really everywhere, right? So, we're going to do the same declines that everybody does. But I'll tell you, I've not had any complaints about us being too restrictive or too tight in our underwriting. Things move through pretty quick.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot from agents, which is really exciting. And hopefully that encourages everyone on this training this morning to reach out and do some marketing and see if you can't save some folks on their med supp premiums with Woodmen.
Yep. Yeah.
That's the goal, right?
Good, yeah.
I don't see any further questions coming through. Stephen just said we need to see more carriers like this. Thanks for sharing that, Stephen.
Yeah, that's great.
All right. Well, I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Thank you so much, agents, for taking the time to learn about Woodmen, and thank you, Lance, for taking the time to talk to our brokers.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Awesome. All right. Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Bye.